When I was a kid, Psalm 23 really confused me. For those of you who've been to funerals, this is not an uncommon psalm to be read. In the King James Version of the Bible, the version most often recited, it starts like this: "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters." For the life of me, I couldn't figure out why the Lord was a shepherd that I didn't want. And what if I didn't want to lie down in a green pasture? The King James English completely eluded me. I am embarrassed to say that I was well, and I do mean well, into my adulthood before I figured out that because the Lord was my shepherd, I lacked nothing. I had everything I needed. And it was just my rebellious teen spirit that kept me from seeing that as a sheep, I wouldn't mind laying down in a green pasture. I'm going on like this all to introduce the sixth set of words from Jesus during this 40-day Lenten period. John, in the 19th chapter of his gospel, writes, "When he had received the drink, Jesus said, 'It is finished.' With that, he bowed his head and gave up his spirit." So, why this seeming irrelevant introduction to this verse? Well, it has to do with the word finished. Now, maybe I'm alone in this, just like not understanding about the shepherd I didn't want, but for me the word finished doesn't necessarily mean complete. When I am finished work for the day, I guarantee you that the work is not complete. I'm just not going to work on it anymore that day. It will still be waiting for me in the morning. We often finish things without having completed them, and that's where I struggle with this word. You see, the original Greek means completed, done, no more to do, accomplished, final, all over. You get it. When Jesus said, "It is finished," he truly meant that there was no more to be done. He had accomplished his mission on earth and was now ready to move on to the next stage and the stage after that. Words are important, but actions are what validate the words. I can promise to do things, but if I don't follow up on those words with some actions, they're just hollow promises. They mean nothing. Jesus had a multifaceted mission. He came to teach, to validate his teaching by example, to put those teachings into action, to train and commission disciples to carry on his work, and to die for us. If he did everything else and more, but didn't follow through on voluntarily giving up his life for us, then it would have been all for naught. We might have been well educated in how to live our lives. We might have been inspired by his example. We might have cheered on his actions and appreciated his compassion. But it wouldn't have mattered because there was one more step he had to take. The most painful and difficult step of them all, to die. Have you ever worked on a task and given up on it when it was almost complete? I have, and almost complete is not complete. And often what you don't finish is useless without those last few steps. You might as well have not started it at all. In fact, Jesus talks about thinking through a project before you start it. Do you have the time, resources, skill, money, etc. to complete it, or will you be left with something half done? Jesus knew when he started out on his mission what the cost would be and how it would end, but that did not deter him because he knew the importance of what he was about to accomplish. And we are the beneficiaries of that mission and gruesome end. So as the Lenten period draws close to an end, what are the tasks that are before you? What remains to be completed? How well, as the Apostle Paul writes, will you finish your race?